The broader topic for the month of December will be how do we transform ourselves? How do we take care of ourselves going forward in 2026? It's not that it is the first time we will try that. We have tried to take care of our body, get better with our whole wellness program as we have tried every year. So in 2026, we will make a more structured, purposeful effort to create a life which is well in the body and well in the mind. I have taken four subtopics: weight management, periodic detox, movement, and fourth is about mental serenity and calmness. So these are four topics that I will be discussing in every week, 1 week at a time, and try to bring a structure to our wellness program going forward in 2026. As always, try to make this discussion as personal as possible. We have discussed these topics in some capacity, either in this lecture series or one on one, or you have read something or watched YouTube videos on this topic. This is a topic you have lived and experimented with. Bring your challenges up for discussion, and everybody will have a common ground with you. Our challenges have been very similar in this journey. So bring your questions, make this whole discussion as personal as possible. So let's begin. Today's topic, weight management. Now, 2025, if you review the whole year, you will see that we have all had periods when we have been very happy with how we are doing. Say we wanted to lose weight, and there have been times then we have actually lost weight, and we have consistently done so. There will be times where we have not lost weight. There has been an upward curve. There have been times where we have not been able to lose weight because of social engagements, not because of our discipline. And then there have been times then we have been just not been able to manage our daily structure, daily routine, and hence our daily eating habits have gone haywire. So if I want to be serious about losing weight, we should just reflect upon our year that has gone by, vis-a-vis what goals we had set, or if at all we had intended to lose weight during the year. And if we had repeatedly wanted to lose weight, then did we achieve that or not? A review of the year gone by should be our first step towards planning our year ahead, towards having a better understanding of how to go about our weight management in the coming year. So, review of the year, our months, our holidays, our overall weight is helpful. I always suggest that we should keep a log where we are trying to write down our weekly weight if we are trying to lose weight. If we are generally trying to keep a track of our health, fortnightly or a monthly entry into our weight log is a very good way, because it is the end of 2025 right now. We will again meet with a very similar topic in the end of 2026. And if I want to review my year, how I have been weight wise, whether I intended to lose weight and whether I could lose weight at a pace that I thought I should, then a review in 2026 December will also happen. So I would request you to, as a first habit, as a practical thing to help you manage your weight, whether you want to lose weight or whether you want to build muscle or you want to gain weight, whichever way is your is the direction of your weight management pursuit. Try and log your weight from now to another year. Empty stomach on a Sunday morning, take your weight and track it every single day for the whole year, and you will have data to help you out if we have made mistakes during the past, so that 2027 is not without data. I'm talking long term. one whole year, 2026, and then looking forward to 2027, because our life is not going to stop with the month of January or February. We are going to look at whole year, a 5-year plan and a decade long plan. So we need data to work with. Weight log is a very important data. Please register in your mind. If you're taking notes today, write down to take your weight every single week so that we collect data vis-a-vis how we are doing with our weight. That's one. Second, let's come to our intentions. Sometimes we want to lose weight, but we want to, we commit too much at a go. So our analysis of how we intend to lose weight or what is the goal that I am setting becomes important. So there are 3 points I have written down in analyzing our intention to lose or gain weight. So weight management, if that is under scrutiny, our intention to manage our weight should be under scrutiny as well. Especially if I'm trying to lose weight, did I really intend to lose weight, or I'm happy with my current weight? It is just a surface level desire that I want to lose weight. I'm not backing it up with consistent action or the minimum required action. So questioning whether I'm owning up to the fact that sometimes we're not true to our intentions, our stated intention and our real intention, they did not match. So that's the first inquiry to be done, and we should be honest with that. If I'm happy with my weight, then I should not spend my mental energy towards weight management. There are many other issues related to my wellness, to my physical and mental health that I could focus on if I'm really not bothered with my weight. If I'm in the range of, say, 2 to 5 kgs, 5 kgs is a little bit too much. But if my ideal weight is, say, 72 kgs, and I give myself a range that I will be okay to expand up to 76, but then I will start worrying about my weight. So, if you are within the range, then do you really need to worry about your weight? That's one another point to understand. So if you are okay with your weight, if you are okay with and if your BMR is also okay, then you really do not need to worry. And if you are emotionally and mentally okay with a few extra kilos, then you don't need to work towards your weight. So match up your stated desire with your real desire so that we can free up mental space. If I'm serious about weight loss or weight management, then the next thing to consider is whether the time frame I have given myself is too steep. That's we most of us lose out on the battle of weight management, especially weight loss, because we have set ourselves up against a very steep timeline. So if I want to lose 3 kgs in 2 or 3 weeks, that's a very steep timeline. If I want to lose 8 kgs in 2 months, that is also steep. I have to understand my previous performance, my desired performance, and that the performance I can achieve will be somewhere in between. If I have not been very disciplined in the past, if I make a genuine effort with real life practicalities, I will perform better than what I have done, but I will not be able to match very steep targets. That's the second point to be understood. Third, with our intention, we must bring in clarity, because if you think that you are okay with certain amount of weight which is detrimental to your health, saying that I'm happy, I eat because that makes me happy, or I'm okay with my weight, I do not have any other health issues, a few extra kgs do not bother me, then the analysis should be on the other side of intention, where I must understand that because I do not intend to lose weight, what are the opportunities I am missing out vis-a-vis confidence, my own body image, vis-a-vis how active I could be, vis-a-vis my long-term health. So the missed opportunity cost of not intending to lose weight or manage my weight is the question to be asked. First of all, try to review your year specifically with weight. If you remember, or if you know that you were, say, 60 kgs, 65 kgs last year starting, what you are right now is the first question to be asked. Does it match up to the direction your weight has gone towards if you wanted to lose weight? If it's in the direction opposite to what you wanted to go, then you know at least that you have made mistakes and that needs to be rectified. So, first is your review. Second is your intention, clarity on your intention, your stated intention, and your true desire must be there. If you do not want to lose weight, it may be all right because that's a battle you have fought before and you may be wary of that battle. I've tried many times and I really don't want to invest another few days, another few hours on losing weight again, another few months on losing weight again. I want a fresh perspective to health. If you have fought a battle too many times, it may help you to switch gears. If you do not want to focus on your weight, then pick up another battle vis-a-vis your health and fitness. So that's where intention and the clarity on intention comes. Okay. These are two highlight points that I want to begin with before I get into the nitty-gritties of how we can structure our weight planning or weight management going ahead. Any inputs here? Has anybody struggled with steep timelines? Uh, have you set yourself up in a manner that you will fail? Has anyone in this group tried to lose weight and set up a very steep timeline for it? That I want to lose weight in 2 months or 3 months?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
Okay, great.
Because,
That's
yeah,
it.
okay. Because it was very difficult. Initially, I put it, target like this, but the body was not responding that way.
Mhm.
So many challenges are coming. But for that, thank you for the clarity you are given. One, I have a doubt about stated intention or desire. Can you
Yeah.
please distinguish this with clarity?
Everyone around us talks about weight. The moment you are into the discussion of health and fitness, the first thing
Right.
that you will hear people talking about is weight. So there is a certain amount of pressure from our friends, family, and peers. If they are also into fitness, everybody talks about weight. You may be someone who is happy with the current weight you are at. Your
Mm-hmm.
happiness may be correct or incorrect. But right now, you do not want to get into a frame of mind where you want to lose weight, for example. Hence, because others are talking about weight, you also focus on weight loss, but your innermost desire has nothing to do with weight. Maybe you want to gain strength. Maybe you want to become more flexible. Maybe you want to learn a new skill, right, vis-a-vis your body. So your stated desire for wellness may be something else rather than
Okay.
weight management, but your innermost desire. But because everybody is talking around weight related issues, you also commit to a weight related target. That's an opportunity lost for yourself. You may be going through a phase in life where you want to focus on your mental well-being. If you improve your mental wellness, your weight will be managed automatically. Yeah, or you will get a
Mm.
push towards managing your weight. But then your focus is not weight related issues. Your focus may be something else in your health and wellness paradigm.
I experienced this in my 20s and 30s. I have lost the weight. Everybody was telling you should lose down your weight and everything. But I was trying to focus my mental health. So it didn't work consistently. It
Okay.
didn't go consistently. I means
Okay.
give up. Certain weight I lost and then I gave up.
Good.
But after the COVID, during your classes and everything, now that mental stability and weight both are I'm managing. It's
And
now it's working better.
now, if I want to look at my weight, let us look at three distinct areas where we need to gain understanding. We need to do an audit of our behavior, an audit of our structural planning, and an emotional audit. So, behavioral audit will mean that whether I'm consistent with my meals. What are my meal timings? Am I snacking too much? What kind of calories do I gain from just eating nuts? Or what kind of calories do I gain with liquid calories? What are the social occasions or days where my calorie intake or food intake is not ideal? Whether I am looking for too much variety in my food, whether I'm constantly thinking about my food, what you can see in your behavior, in your eating pattern, in your exercise pattern, vis-a-vis food, exercise, sleep. What are the patterns that you can see? We must audit that. This is where the what of my behavior comes out, like how I am behaving, what is the end result of my emotional and structural constraints comes out in the open. So inconsistencies in meal, major culprits in calories, social occasions or days or events where I am generally tired and make a mistake, inconsistencies in sleep, inconsistencies in exercise routine. These are things that we need to audit on a regular basis. So if I'm looking at 2026 and I want to bring about changes, this is one area that you will focus upon for the rest of the month in 2025. So December 2025, do a behavioral audit vis-a-vis inconsistencies in food. Where does your major calories come from? If there is an input of liquid calories, if there is an input of nuts, if there is an input of grease that causes a spike, there are specific days that causes spike. If there is a friend circle that causes you to let go of your discipline, if you are inconsistent at a particular hour in the day, say 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. is an hour where many of us have complained of feeling extremely hungry or not having the best of control. So do a audit of your own behavior in these three areas. One is food, another is exercise, third is sleep. If I want to bring about real change, I need data where I am going wrong. I had a data point where I was talking about weight. I will track my weight. There's a good amount of effort that I need to put in to track my behavior. That's the second area I want to focus on throughout the month so that I can bring about change from January onwards. Or as I see a pattern developing, I can bring about a change whenever I want to. Second is if there is a structural audit that I need to do. Do I invest time in meal planning? Do I invest time in planning hours when I'm going to do meditation? Or do I invest time in planning my exercise routine? Do I have healthy snacks with me so that if I'm extremely hungry or I have an emotional spike and I need to eat something, do I have healthy options available? Meal planning is one area where structurally we fail sometimes. If I want to eat healthy and I do not buy groceries which are healthy, then I can never eat healthy. Either I will be eating out or cooking things available in my fridge that may not be the healthiest options. So if I want to change my eating habit, I need to start from buying the groceries, right? Which means I have to plan ahead. This is the week that I'm looking at. These are the meals that I'm going to make. I need to buy certain things. And that's what you call meal planning. Maybe first 2 weeks, it may look odd, but if you create a structure around meal planning that makes your life so easy and saves you a lot of time. You don't have to think every time what will you eat in your next meal. So if the groceries are set, your meals are set, then all you need to do either cook and eat what is written for you already, what is planned for you already, or you cook and keep for 2 days and 3 days and you keep eating that. So either ways, you need to plan your meals. So there is a structural audit you need to do. Are you investing time into planning your meals? If not, then we should do. Are we investing time in planning our exercise? So we want to exercise every day. Most of you who are here are seriously invested in practicing yoga. If at any phase you do not slot yourself Why most of you are so consistent in practicing yoga? Because you have placed yoga in your calendar. Like, this is the hour that I'm going to practice, and you have formed a habit around it. If not formally, you know that this is the hour that you are going to practice. That's why your practice is so strong. Those who do not slot themselves a particular hour of practice in a day can never actually practice. So if you are in a habit of not putting your exercise in your calendar, change that habit. Slot yourself a particular hour for exercise as if it is work. So, like you will have a meeting slotted, like you will have your meal time slotted. Similarly, your exercise should be planned as well. So, whether you are doing yoga, going out for a walk, everything you put in a calendar, so that by default, nothing conflicts. You will have less and less not exercising because of time. So that's your structural audit. Again, structural audit goes for meal plannings, goes for exercise planning, goes for snack planning, and goes for sleep as well. When do you want to go to sleep, and how do you want to prepare for sleep becomes important. So behavioral audit, structural audit, then comes your emotional audit. This is where most of us go wrong. If we are stressed, we reach out for food. Eating becomes a coping mechanism for us and not just to nourish ourselves. It will be utopian to say that we will not eat or reach out for food when we are stressed. It's comforting to eat when you are stressed. It is comforting to distract yourself with food when you are stressed. So, stress eating or eating because of emotional spike is a reality. There are two ways to handle it. One, you make better choices while eating when you are stressed. If your pantry is packed in a manner that even when you are stressed, you are reaching out for something healthy to manage stress, get into mindfulness practices, breathing exercises, meditations, proper sleep. They all help us in managing stress related eating. Emotional audit throughout the month of 2025, when you are eating and why you are eating. This is where you need to distinguish between your hunger, your appetite, and your craving. Your hunger is real. If you understand what is hunger, you will eat in the right manner and pull away when you are, say, 75% full, and you will be able to move away from food. If we invest time and energy in understanding what true hunger is, we will never go wrong with our food. So, understanding hunger and eating when we are hungry is a very good skill to have. We can work on that. But if I'm talking about emotional eating, understanding hunger becomes one. Understanding appetite becomes the second thing. Appetite is how much can I eat? So I can be satisfied with much lesser food than the full quota of food that I could eat. So if I'm overeating, I'm stuffing myself and I still could eat more. Appetite is the amount of food I could eat. Hunger is the amount of food that I need and I will be satisfied with, or I should be satisfied with. So difference between hunger and appetite is the total capacity of the food that you could take in. So that distinction, if you can make, then you will know when to stop. Your capacity to push in more food may be there, but you can take a step back and say that I'm no longer hungry. I will not eat anymore. That's second. Third is your craving, where you are just desirous of eating. That craving could be because of poor gut health, that could be because of stress, that could be because of just temptation for food. Craving could happen because of any reason. It could happen because of stress and emotional spikes as well. Understand craving for what it is and see how you can manage that. If there is more articulated clarity on the difference between hunger, appetite, and craving, my emotional eating will be way better managed. That is where emotional audit comes into play. There is another reason why we eat. We criticize ourselves so much for a mistake we have done or for a thought we may have had. That self criticism leads to a rebound coping mechanism, which again goes through food. So look at yourself, how you are talking to yourself, what is the choice of words that you take, create a distance between how you analyze yourself and what you are. You may temporarily have made some mistakes, may not have been disciplined, may be sagging, etc. But be intentional in distinguishing yourself with your current state of behavior, and hence criticize yourself less sharply. Strong criticism of self leads to, again, you want to manage negativity that you have created within yourself. Sometimes we reach out for food for that help. We should not do that. Be gentle, be kind to yourself. That does not mean encourage indiscipline, but that means using better words to describe your own behavior. Audit whether I am setting boundaries in work, in family, and friend circles, that will reflect in food choices as well. If I'm someone who does not set boundaries in work, it will create unnecessary pressure and I will reach out for food. If I do not set boundaries for my personal time and I'm giving into the demands of my family and friends, unnecessary demands of my family and friends, I will reach out for food as a coping mechanism. So set boundaries. These are three subtle dimensions. These do not relate directly to food, but how we reach out for food depends upon these three: behavioral audit, structural audit, and emotional audit. You could argue that weight management is not so difficult. You just eat less and you will manage your weight. It is absolutely right. Calories in and calories out is the basic, it is thermodynamics, it's a physical law, it is reality. But had it been so simple, all of us would have managed our weight always. A better understanding of our behavior, our emotions lead us to better management of our behavior vis-a-vis food. So these are the things that we need to look at from distance. Any questions, comments here, please?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, so basically, okay, Rita will go before me.
No, no, go ahead. Then Rita Di will pick up after you. Go ahead.
Okay. For me, the most relevant part was the last part, emotional regulation. A couple of things which you've also told me previously to distinguish myself from the criticism I'm offering myself, not to be harsh. But you
Yeah.
know how there is this understanding, please correct me, that you improve when the inspiration is a little strong. You can't sweet talk yourself into improvement. And sometimes I have seen like when you're a little firm, and your firmness and harshness is like a difficult terrain, I understand. But whenever I have cut myself some slack, I
Yeah.
have always seen myself not being able to do the thing and get out of the comfort zone. Now at least I can recognize I'm a little harsh, but it's very difficult to draw that boundary. How do you know when you're being harsh and when you're being firm with yourself? It's not always so much in the choice of words only, but
Yeah.
it's how you view those words, right? It act a
Right.
problem.
Right.
Second problem, হচ্ছে এই যে when you mentioned the boundary with friends and family and work,
Yeah.
my eternal struggle is how some people can guilt trip you. And they
Yeah.
genuinely don't mean to be bad, you know, like friends and family, they'll be like, nah, আমার এটা হচ্ছে না, you have to be like, they'll dump stuff on you. And
Yeah.
then you feel pressurized into it's a very subtle pressure into being available for that friend or family member. And
Yeah.
in that process, you may have to expend more energy
Yeah.
over a not so real problem of the other person, abandoning your real problems at the moment. So it's a very tricky thing when the friend and the family member has stood by you. How to avoid this guilt? So, to summarize my two questions, one is how do you draw the line between harshness and firmness
Yeah.
in self talk? And the other thing is this guilt, like it's difficult to understand because everything is not so much about actual tasks. Sometimes somebody wants you to be around emotionally, and you
Yeah.
don't know when that is getting a little overwhelming. So I struggle with that. If you could throw some anecdotes on how to do,
Yes.
please.
Setting boundaries at work and setting boundaries at home or with friends is easier said than done. Now, you want to stretch yourself for your family and friends always. However, if your own mental or physical health is taking a toll, then you should review your own behavior. I take the help of what compassion is as a definition. Compassion is when you solve somebody else's problem, and it is not that you pander to their ego. If you are genuine in your desire to help your friend and family members, then you will be able to call it a day when you cannot continue anymore because you are thoroughly clear in your own intentions. Helping someone must come with clarity that you are helping them come out of a real problem and you're not pandering to their ego or false emotions. So this is where, as a person who is in a position to help, has to have the maturity to understand whether the problem is real or made up. You need to mature as a person who is offering help.
The tragedy is that the person who's seeking help from me forgets that I don't have it sorted. By the time I figure out, it's a little late.
This is where your first point comes in, that you do not criticize yourself so harshly and the people around you so harshly, because all of us are developing as human beings. In that process, we waste a little time while figuring out things. So we will factor in that time that, all right, some time will go away as a loss while I'm figuring out things and while the other person is also figuring out things. You must work in ranges, not specifics. I will allow myself 4 hours with the person, not a specific, I'll only allow half an hour with the person. So I'll give him or her the slack of spending 4 hours. Even if I am unable to help the person, then I step back and review it for a later date. So you have to create a range. Practically, that is what you can do. But the larger point is there is no end to how much you can pander to somebody's ego. If it is not a genuine situation where you are helping someone, if it is just a fictitious emotional state, there will be no end to it. So, as a person who is seriously involved in helping someone, you must be clear in your intention and not afraid to state that to the person. If somebody is true in their intentions, they can state the truth that I feel that you are dumping things on me while you could have done it yourselves. Intention matters here. That brings in the confidence to state things as it is. Yes.
I'm very regimental about my food, but sometimes I get these sweet cravings. Why does that happen? I try to control myself most of the time, but those cravings are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens, sweet or the sugar gives us some amount of energy and it instantaneously releases dopamine.
Especially after meals, say
Yes.
after lunch or after dinner.
You remember how we discussed we have 6 different kinds of tastes? If my meal does not have the sweet taste in it, either in forms of enough carbohydrates that provide me starch or a real flavor of sweetness, then my demand of my body will always remain. So if you don't want to go the sugar way, you can experiment with increasing the carbohydrate and the starch amount a little bit in your diet. See if it helps you manage your sugar cravings.
Okay.
So
That's
cravings are sometimes, especially after meal cravings, are your body's way of saying that taste wise, maybe something was incomplete. Sugar and salt are taste base where your body may not demand an astringent tasting food. Sugar and salt will be a constant demand. Sugar can be fulfilled by wheat, rice, oats, sweet potatoes, all starchy things. So you could try that out and see if still you demand more like a sweet after your food.
what you mean in the main meals I should try out or in the day?
No, in the main meals. So you are having lunch, just increase the quantity of rice that you are eating in your lunch or add some potatoes in your lunch, just as an experiment. I'm not saying that you have to do every day.
I
So
understand.
you will understand where the root is.
Thank you so much.
Now, let's get into some practical frameworks that we can take up as we go ahead. So there is this idea that 5-3-2-1 as a daily structure. 5 servings of fibers, 3 servings of protein, 2 mental breaks, and 1 training session for the body. 5-3-2-1. 5 servings of fiber will not mean that you are having 5 meals. It means that one meal will have 2 portions. If you say one small bowl as 1 serving, then it will be 2 servings in a meal, then 2 servings in another meal, and 1 serving in another meal. So 5 servings of fiber-rich food that can come from vegetables primarily and some bit of fruits. So 5 servings of fiber, 3 servings of protein, going in the range of 20 to 30 grams of protein based on your requirement. Go for 3 such meals, and every meal should be protein rich with 20 to 30 grams of protein in every meal. Give yourself 2 mental breaks. That break can come in the form of meditation, pranayam, going out for a walk, where you are actively relaxing your mind and trying to declutter yourself, and 1 physical training session a day. So if I can get to this in my daily structure, out of the 30 days, if I'm achieving this for 25 days, then I'm doing very good for myself. So 5-3-2-1 routine. So you could think of experimenting with this in later half of December or starting from tomorrow, or you could experiment from January, but this is a practical thing to do. Now, every meal that you take, the 5-3-2-1 rule, then 50% of your plate should be vegetables, 25% of the plate protein, 25% of the plate can be carb and fat combined. So this is your plating, which is not standardized in terms of grams and weight, etc. But to give, in most practical scenarios, it will serve you good, like 50% vegetables, 25% protein, 25% carbohydrate. So this structure of plate is satisfying for the body, satisfying for the mind, and you will not go wrong with this structure. This is a very simple way to look at it, and you don't have to get into calculations. Does the form of vegetable matter? Okay, if you are wanting to lose weight, you don't want to add a lot of oil into your vegetables, so boiled and steamed. If you are maintaining your weight, sauteed is fine. If you eat too much of cooked vegetables with too much oil, then you will definitely gain weight. The proportion of oil in your vegetables will directly go into the fat category of the plating. So vegetables steamed, boiled, or sauteed, weight loss or weight management. The moment you go in for oil rich vegetables, they lose out on nutrients because you have cooked them for too long, and it will add to your weight as well. So that is your daily structure and plating structure. Weekly rhythm, what all you need to do. You must have non-negotiable hours for exercise, yoga, strength training, whatever you are into. You must have 3 days minimum that you are doing. That should be non-negotiable. Anything over and above, that is great. So in your daily structure, there will be some days you will not train, but minimum you will train 3 times a week. That is 12 times a month. That is non-negotiable. If you can reach 25 days in a month, that will be super. But 12 days is the minimum required. Review your rest and review your meditations. Did you sit to meditate, or did you go at a stated time to sleep? So there should be a day where you are reviewing your sleep timings, where you are reviewing your meditation timings. I'm not talking about quality right now, just the timings. Then you will take your weight weekly. So this is your weekly activity that you get into. Strength training or yoga or any form of exercise which is other than walk, that's non-negotiable for 3 days. You get into a habit of planning your meals. That will be super time saving and super useful in managing your weight. And then will come your rest period, rest slash meditation period review, timing, quality, etc. Then your weekly weekly weight review that you get into. So these are the things you do every week. So you review and review. So much time I have spent on suggesting that you need to review your life and lifestyle if you want to change something. We jump in for change without understanding what needs to change. Engaging with yourself for a whole month in December and then making small changes along the way and preparing for a bigger change in January onwards is a better way to commit to change in daily life rather than just jumping in. Then we must understand the importance of emergency backups. That if I'm emotionally disturbed or restless, or if I go in hungry for hours, how do I manage that situation? What is my backup for snacking, for emotional spike? What kind of food? So you create a structure where you know what you will reach out for when you are totally not under control of your emotions or of your training routine of food. So these are few things that you need to consider practically. So practical is 5-3-2-1 structure: fiber, protein, mental breaks, and training session. Then is your plating methods of 50-25-25, 50 vegetables with 25% protein, 25% carbohydrate. Then create a weekly rhythm of exercise, weekly review of your sleep and meditations, weekly review of your meal planning effort, and weekly weight watch. And then create a emergency backup of your food, of your exercise, of your sleep. Now, what do you mean by exercise and a backup of exercise? So you are intending to do 1 hour of exercise every day, but that may not be possible every single day. So you create mini routines, 15 minutes, 10-minute routines that can come as a mini exercise snack that you place anywhere you have time. So you have 15 minutes in the morning, you'll exercise. You have 15 minutes during the day, you will walk. You have 15 minutes after your work, you will do some squats and push-ups. You should be mentally ready with a 10-15 minute routine that could be slotted in. In a day, you have exercised for an hour, but may not be 1 whole hour as such. So that's your exercise snack. And then how do you introduce mental breaks, resting snacks, power nap if possible, meditation break if possible. While you're traveling, can you do some pranayam in your car? This is your emergency backup. This is your practical framework. Some healthy habits, how do you include practically? Questions, comments, please?
I love your snack things. Exercise snack.
Snack is a word that we like so much. Instead of snacking on food only, we could snack on exercise
Exercise
and pranayam.
snack. Very nice.
I have given you a structure of audit. I have given you some practical steps that you could do to increase your awareness of what needs to be done vis-a-vis your health. I'll end here. I had more things to talk, the same issue. Maybe I'll continue with this again. And so I'll make these 4 sessions as a continuous session, not just one topic in 1 week. Any last words, anyone?
So, if I have become repetitive in my dinner, does it mean that your microbiome is affected? Does it get boring if I have eggs, curd, carrot, and beet every day for dinner with bread? I don't have that luxury to think because meal planning is also quite intensive mentally.
Yes.
And so does it, I mean, if you could just give last minute quick comment, I know you'll have to take this up later, but on microbiome, do I need a lot of
Do you
variety?
have variety during the day?
No, sir, boring lecture. I'm doing the same thing for the last week. I'm not too well. So I've been doing this for a month on and off. So now I'm wondering, like, probably I'll change later, but this is
Yeah.
easy, it's on like an autopilot mode. So, like,
Yes.
let's say eggs and curd and like carrot and beet, and I have like duto roti. So
Yes.
it seems good, and I'm doing this like morning and evening. But I'm just saying, does it tend to create microbiome? I know ideally I should be diverse, but in short term, will it really affect me?
No, it will not affect in a week. It will not
No, no,
affect.
1 month. I intend to do this for a month.
You can experiment with this for a month also, because what you are eating is clean food. Maybe you could add 1 or 2 vegetables in your diet, say local vegetables that we grow in Bengal. If you could add those, that will be helpful. Just 2 vegetables, I heard, carrot and beet. If you
It's
can,
easy to saute. It's tasty and easy to saute than like sweet potato boiled is bland. I don't like it. I mean, it's easy to have it with the mixture that I've said.
so now winters are coming, you will have beans, you will have peas, you will have cauliflower, you will have a lot of vegetables which are which will take equal amount of time to cook and cut. If you are worried about your gut microbiome, just add a few vegetables that will be helpful. If you want to stick with what you are eating and you're worried about gut microbiome, the answer lies in changing the vegetables. For
Okay, got
taste,
it.
you can change your egg.
No,
For
I
taste,
don't care about
you
taste.
can.
I'm
So
just saying
for
that
gut,
microbiome does get affected, right?
yeah, but not so quickly because you are overall a healthy person and you
Mm.
invest in eating good food, clean food. So not so quickly, but still add variety to your vegetables and gut microbiome will be taken care. So don't need to change the roti or the egg, just change your vegetables.
Thank you, sir, very much.
I really hope your time was worthwhile for this whole hour. I could hardly take up questions. I just kept speaking. I hope you have taken some notes and some mental notes at least of what needs to be done. If you are coming back next Monday, you can send me your questions because I want that this 1 month that we have should be very, very engaging for us. I want us to make real changes in January. So this is the time to review, to understand, to invest in consciously studying our own behavior. So any questions you have, feel free to WhatsApp me. And I really hope it was worth your time. Thank you.